we greenhouses, we install dam liners, we do drip irrigation, off-fired irrigation, we have the basin irrigation, we also extract shade nets, and so on. So my work mostly, I visit the farmers, I advise them on which type of irrigation they want to do. So when you are studying irrigation, you need to consider the availability of water. Some other people may be, their farms are near to the rivers, so you may just take a water pump, depending on the distance and the amount of water you need, so that you pump from the river. So others may go to the drilling services, and others maybe they can make a water pump. They put a dam liner such that they can harvest water during the dry season and use it. They can harvest during the rainy season and use it during the dry season. So our work mostly, we measure with farmers who are willing to do farming, productive farming. As you know, productive farming, you have to do timing. You don't just do farming maybe during the rainy season. Most of the cases, we target the dry season, such that during the rainy season, when you know, during the rainy season, everybody has some yield. So maybe the products will be readily available at the market. But when you do during the dry season, considering maybe when you are able to get water, the biggest challenge there is water. But when you have it, maybe you can put a storage tank. You may use gravity, maybe for drip. Because I came to realize that drip is the best, maybe when you are doing tomatoes and other vegetables, because in drip system, you may be able to minimize the water loss, because those drip lines has been made in a way that they emit a specified amount of water per hour. So control is very easier rather than using other means, maybe overhead at times. You may find yourself using a lot of water. So maybe if there are people here who may be in difficulty, maybe they want to start that farming, I'll be here to answer their questions. Maybe I was just introducing myself, but maybe I've gone a bit deeper, but let me hear from you.
So I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start with some questions. And if you know, anyone that wants to ask question, unaweza kuuliza. But niko na questions because in Kenya tuko na different counties, right? Within those different counties, you know, like we were talking now with Chris, and alikuwa anasema, example Mombasa, really need this mentality that in certain areas, yes, we need drip irrigation, such as Samburu. Samburu is a very dry area, but hakuna maji. Or Mombasa, why should we need irrigation in places like Kakamega, where, you know, it's a rainforest?
Okay, these places are different. You know, in Kakamega, maybe there is a product that you can grow in Kakamega that maybe doesn't prefer what is grown in Kajiado. So I think it's diversification of different crops with different places. You know, we have different climate favoring different, like for example, in Kakamega, maybe most people grow sugarcane, but for now, sugarcane, you know, it's a long term, maybe so you may need to plant other like vegetables, which are the basic needs needed by every day.
Yes, I definitely agree with you, because that's my aim. My aim is to learn, because it took me, and it took me a long time, because when we started farming, yes, we started to plant maize, and that's common. That is the main food, is the main dish. So, we had good yield during rain season. So then we thought during dry season, let's try to plant something different. We started with cabbage and other variety of crops. Our cabbage didn't do well at all, although we were getting rain, but it really wasn't as much rain. So I'm thinking, so we thought maybe let's try to do irrigation, and try to improvise and improve ourselves so we can have better yield. At our farm. So that is when we started to research about irrigation, and we didn't know where to go about getting irrigation, because people that we spoke to in Kakamega area, there was no any places. Likely we connected in Nairobi, and then we found out that you have stores all over. So can you talk about the locations of where where people can locate easily these places, and is it affordable? Can Kenyan afford? Can regular Kenyan afford irrigation system?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes, irrigation is very affordable, depending on the size of farm that you have. Maybe when you are starting, I always advise that you may start with a small portion, which maybe you will be able to manage easily. So for this case, those people who don't know where to get the services, we as a company, we have so many branches all over the country. We have our headquarters in Nairobi. We have a branch in Naivasha. We have a branch in Nakuru. We have a branch in Eldoret. We have a branch in Kitale. We have a branch in Embu. We have one in Mombasa. And we have another one in Kisumu and Embu. So there's those numbers that we always give to the customers. Maybe when you have a question, you may call. There is one common number. So when you call that common number and you tell him, where are you? He may direct you to the nearest shop or to the nearest, or he may give you a technician or a technical person who may visit your farm, give you technical advices, because those farm visits are very important. You may not say, I want to start irrigation, maybe yourself, you don't have that knowledge. It's important for someone to visit your farm so that he may give you the right direction. For our office, we always use one common number, which is 0700 169 962. Or you may go to our website, www.FineTouch Africa Limited. We have a Facebook page, which we always post our daily activities, maybe our installations all over the country. It's at FineTouch Facebook. When you look for FineTouch, you'll see those services.
And another a question is, you mentioned sugarcane, you need long term, right? So
Yes.
to be sustainable, to me, I mean, just speak for myself. To be sustainable for me is, if I have a space, I want food all year round, and if and I find it difficult, even to my family. It was difficult for us because we focused only on planting maize, only during planting season. We all go to plant only during rain season. And then,
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead.
Um, I also had a question, Mr. Paul. So I heard that you suggested that we maybe opt for that is drip irrigation. Which other type of irrigation do we have as an option here, apart from the drip irrigation? And is that drip irrigation sustainable, and maybe is it cheap as compared to all the other methods of irrigation?
Okay, apart from drip irrigation, we have off-fired irrigation, which is use of sprinklers and the rainers. There is a system which is known as a rainers. I think, have you heard about that? So drip irrigation, when you are doing for a large scale, you will find that it's a bit expensive rather than off-fired irrigation, but it has its own, it's gonna hit those benefits. Maybe the water that you have is very limited. So when you consider drip irrigation, you divide your farm into different sections using hydrants, such that when, even if you have 2,000 liters, you may decide that you are irrigating some part of the farm today. Maybe tomorrow you irrigate this other part of the farm. So that's the best. The advantage of drip irrigation is that you minimize water, you control weeds, because you know that drip irrigation only concentrates on the root of the plant.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically what you're saying is that drip irrigation is resourceful when it comes to the consumption of water. So that simply means we are not going to waste a lot of water when we use the drip irrigation. Is that right?
Yes. Yes, yes, that's right.
Okay, I've gotten you.
Okay. And okay, so one question I'm gonna ask is for someone that does not know irrigation and its uses, can you walk us through in very simple terms? You can use example when you came to the farm and you installed irrigation. How was your experience working with our community family there at the farm, and how they were, intrigued about this particular system, and even they were excited, they wanted to exchange your phone number, so they can have contact with you. Can you walk us through that?
Okay. So when you're starting irrigation, as I said, we consider availability of water. Some of the, maybe you have dug a well, or you have a borehole, or maybe a river. So for this case, the first thing, you may raise a water tank. From the water tank, you have your main pipe, which it will come through the filter. The filter helps to eliminate the sediments before entering into maybe the drip system, or even if it's a sprinkler. So that water filter, it's something that you may wash regularly to avoid those blockages. So for that system, you have the main pipe and sub main pipes. So, and the laterals, such as the drip lines, or if not the drip lines, after laying the main pipe, you have the pipes that feed the sprinklers. So if you don't have a tank and you decide to dig a water pump, maybe you install a dam liner that will help you to store water without any loose. You may, if you are able to get a generator, you may pump water using a generator directly to the farm. Maybe even from the river. That's even the simplest form which most of the people are using right now. If you are not able to for drip irrigation,
Mm-hmm.
you may get a water pump, maybe a diesel or gasoline. You may use it directly. You can use a sprinkler, or you can irrigate directly if you get enough water.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So for those places,
uh-huh.
I realize that most of the people are not well known to these types of irrigation. Those people who do irrigation now are those that have got experience from other people.
Mm-hmm.
But what we can do, we are trying to mobilize. We always go to the agricultural shows and those exhibitions, such that we explain to people that we exist as irrigation technical team. We exist and we offer these services. We are able to answer questions there. I think most of the people have found us there. If there are some who have been visiting those agricultural shows all over the country, we are always been there. We are trying to educate those people, those who have not known much about irrigation. Yes.
Yeah, I completely agree with you about that. And the one important thing you mentioned about during dry season, you tried to promote irrigation, so they can we can understand that during dry season, we don't have to leave our shamba empty and we just wait for for the rain season. We can still irrigate and plant our crops, so we can have food all year round. Pamela, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yes, so yes, we are just discussing here about the irrigation. Our guest speaker, Paul, if you have any questions, you can direct the questions to him.
The irrigation, the young people buying the equipment is normally very expensive. How can we help the young people get the equipment to irrigate their small farms?
Okay, when you have maybe a small farm and you want to start irrigation, we may consider which type of irrigation we are going to do. Maybe, as I said, there are those generators which are very affordable, from 15,000 going ahead, which may serve you before you get that ability to install drip irrigation or those sprinklers. So you may do it directly during the evening hours, but considering where the water source is, maybe if you have your farm near a flowing river, or maybe your farm is near a swamp, you may dig a water pump, of which you will be harvesting water for free. But if you are also able to get a dam liner, even if you don't have a swampy area, maybe where you'll get those water freely, you may install a dam liner. Maybe you can put the one, maybe you'll be getting maybe 100,000 liters and above. That will help you irrigate easily, manually, and at the end of the day, you will have a fruitful harvest.
Okay, thank you so much. Sometimes we used to have some machines, the pumping machines. You put pipes in the water, in a water tank, and then you pump the machine and it pumps the water to the farm. But I don't know how much those machines are going for those people who are not near the river.
Okay, I understand that. You mean the booster pumps?
Yeah, the booster pumps.
Okay, so nowadays there is a booster pump for electricity and the ones for solar. So when you decide to go for solar, we give a quote for solar, the solar pump, the pipes, and the solar panels. And then depending on the size of the farm, you know, when we are doing a quote, we also ask what's the size of the farm, so that we may get to know what's the volume of water that you may need per hour. When you go also for the electricity, we give you the size of the pump, depending on the amount of water that you have and the size of the farm. So are you interested in the solar or electric pump?
Because the youth we are trying to mentor, they come from different parts of 2 counties, Bungoma County and Busia County. And we have some areas where farming is done, electricity is not there. So I think the solar pump can be of help to such young people. Number 2, they have small farms. Now that we are going to the dry season, January to March, we have a problem of wages, and most of these young people, they actually the cheapest agriculture they can do is farming the vegetables. I don't know how we can help them so that they can achieve more. It can be like an income generating activity now that they don't have the jobs.
Okay, first of all, we may consider where to place the farm. We take a solar water pump and the sprinklers, and then from that you consider what's the best type of crop grown in that area. If it's maybe cabbages, tomatoes, or onions, if they do well, you select them, you irrigate during the dry season. Of course, the sun density is very high, so you will be irrigating during the day, but during the night or during the evening hours, when the sunlight is low, the pump automatically shuts off. So I think that the best solution there is the solar pump and the sprinklers, which are very movable. We will decide in a way that one sprinkler, if it gives you a radius of maybe 10 meters, that's the diameter of 20 meters. Place where it also
Yes, I've gotten you very well. Thank you.
Okay, welcome.
Yes, this is a very useful information. Because Ms. Pam has mentioned about youth. Let me just say, maybe Pam, are you able to maybe mute or someone can mute?
Am I able? Am I able to?
Oh, can you hear me? Everybody?
Yes, I'm hearing.
Okay. So you mentioned a very important question about youth and how they can be more involved in farming. Do you already have the youth that are really determined into farming and during dry season, if you're coming up in January, as you mentioned, with irrigation, what formation is sprinkler, and all drip irrigation that are affordable. How do when you say affordable, can you define affordable cost and how that particular youth can get access to such systems?
Actually, the youth we are animating, these are youth from 2 counties, that is Bungoma County and Busia County, comprising of the Catholic Diocese of Bungoma. and most of them are trying farming, mostly from the Mount Elgon area. We have the Bungoma where they try to farm onions. Mount Elgon, they try to farm Irish potatoes, the waru, the Irish potatoes. Do you know waru?
Yeah, they
waru. Yeah. And around Bungoma town, they have tried to farm sukuma wiki. Sukuma wiki, the indigenous veggies. But their problem is that they don't get enough money during the dry season, how they can water their crops. Because most of them will go and sell their veggies and buy other necessary needs. And some of them do this to educate themselves. So we are trying to look for partners to come on board on how we can help them do a commercial type of farming.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you're trying like where the church will be involved in managing and assisting the youth.
Yeah, the church is supporting where it can by giving the knowledge, but you know the church does not give the money.
Okay.
So we are trying to look for, we have Equity Bank on board, but we've not put down proper structures to know how Equity Bank can help these young people. We are trying to bring commercial bank on board and any other well-wishers. If we can get like, we have so much land or farms that belong to the church, and normally the church does not want the land to be fallow. So the piece of land or the piece of shamba is given to these young youth, the groups, now the youth department, to do whatever they can. And you see, most of them will try agriculture, they reach somewhere, they don't have funds, they don't have money, then they give up. Some will struggle, some will change from farming to other income generating things, but they go back again to farming. So we don't have actually proper support to these young people that they can impress the agriculture that can be income generating.
Okay, I see. It's yeah, I completely understand. I completely understand that, and with irrigation, maybe Paul, you can tell us about your company and do they educate youth? Are they involved in youth training in these programs? Are there any incentives for youth in this area?
Yes, pardon me.
So the question is for Paul.
For Paul, okay, Paul.
Okay. I've been working with NGOs where the different parts of the country trying to benefit the youth. And those who are not able to raise funds to start
I'm
us
so
farming.
sorry. I think it's like an echo. Maybe Miss Ham, maybe if you can mute yourself while Paul is talking. I think.
I think those of us that are not talking should actually because we're experiencing an echo. Those of us that are not talking, you can actually mute yourself. You're experiencing an echo. You're not getting what the person that is talking is saying.
Endo niletee nini? Earphones. Tuko kwa kibeti.
Are you able to get me now?
Okay. Ni sawa tu. Are you able to answer that question?
On. I think I'm not. Okay. I hope you are getting me right.
Yes, we are getting you.
Okay. For our company, most of the cases. So for those who have met, they just come. We give them a quote. We advise them on what to do, depending on the type of plant they want to grow. Because different plants also, they will regulate you on which type of irrigation you want to do. Maybe there are people, maybe they may want to start irrigation, but the capital doesn't allow them to do what they want to do. So we always give them alternatives, advices after visiting those farms, after talking to them on what they want to do. So there are those individuals who always come on board to help those people who don't have those abilities. So we make a deal. We supply the materials and everything that is needed, maybe which will be paid after the service.
Okay. So let's see. I'm sorry. I think there was so much echo in the background. Paul, I apologize. I apologize about that. But so just to understand is that you do have, or your company do have such programs where they will assist or try to, work with the youth into like training them. Example, I know when you came to the farm, you really didn't realize the impact that you added value education to to the youth that you're working with there, because you were just there to work, and then we brought them in and they assisted you. And even to today, I call them, I'm like, do you remember Paul, during irrigation, can you go and fix my pipe for me? So they already have that knowledge, until today. So they feel excited and it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go and fix it for you. Because sometimes, and this is why I want you, if you can talk a little bit about maintenance, right? Because it's not just about installing irrigation, but it comes with maintenance, and sometimes you might need a little parts. You might need additional parts in the future. You might need certain pipes in the future. Can you talk about the aftermath of installation and how to maintain such system?
Okay, after installation of the drips, it's very simple to do the maintenance. First of all, the filter is very important. Make sure that your filter is always clean each and every time, because the filter, when the filter is plugged, it reduces water flow, of which the pressure going to the water volume going to the farm will reduce. So you may find that your other farm is not receiving enough water. You will be asking yourself, what's the problem? You must visit the filter, you wash the filter. Then also after installing, you have to find sober people to do your weeding, such that you may not be finding cases that maybe some of them are cutting the pipes. After harvesting, you have to take the drip lines gently, you roll it, you put it aside. Then you go on with your plowing. After that, you also straighten. Then you continue with the planting. So those pipes, then nowadays we have these pipes known as HDP, very simple to connect. That as long as you have been shown for once, the rest will be connecting them by your own. It's very simple.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
So for that question of that, if our company are doing those partnerships, for now, we are not doing that. We are not sponsoring, but we educate. When we find people need any free education about irrigation services, we educate them on what to do. Then they decide by their own. If they find a sponsor, it's well and good. We just support them. We give them advices. We educate on how to do things concerning irrigation. That's it.
And I think you mentioned the most important thing about the aftermath of installation, because yes, I have faced that experience. Is because we're used to, and irrigation is not only about irrigating, it's about organizing your farm. Because in the beginning it was hard for me to organize the farm, but with irrigation it kind of forces you to maintain the line and to just focus on each line and focus on each weed in each section. So we found it a bit easier. Yes, we're still progressing, but it's a bit easier where now we can remove weed to make sure that it's weed free at the farm. And so we're slowly learning, and it's a process. And also like aligning the pipelines, that is something that we were not aware of. But thank goodness, when Paul, when you came, you have trained some people there. so now we don't have to call a technician. Paul, can you come and fix this for us? What's going on? So we already have the people that he trained, and I'm like, oh, can you just go and fix that pipe? Because now they know. So I don't need to call a technician to do that. So I thought that was really convenient. It was convenient for us, of what we did there. So yeah. So but if you have any, I don't want to keep everyone on hold for a long time. But if you have any questions, please, additional questions that you may have for Paul.
Hello, Paul.
Hello.
I have a question. on it's called what? The greenhouse. If somebody has a greenhouse, can he also fix the irrigation system there in the greenhouse?
Yeah, the best irrigation for greenhouse is the drip. So for those greenhouse,
drip irrigation.
Most of the greenhouse, maybe it has a standard length of 8 by 30 meters or 8 by 15 meters. So you find that depending on what you want to plant, maybe if it's tomatoes, you may find that you may have 14 rows inside one greenhouse. So for that 14 rows and 2 lines each, so you see that you need like 28 lines of drip lines by the length of 30 meters. So you find that is very very short distance of drip line, and you find that maybe drip per meter you find with 8 shillings or 9 shillings per meter, and those small fittings. So the best, in fact, most people, almost everybody uses drip irrigation for greenhouse. You cannot use overhead for greenhouse. Maybe if it's those misters, there are those called misters used to regulate the temperatures of the greenhouse. Those which remove what form of mist. Maybe during the fair seasons you open them, it balances the temperatures inside a greenhouse.
Are you in Kenya? And if you are in Kenya, where are you found?
I'm in Kenya. Right now I'm in Nairobi. But our services are, we
You are hanging.
Yeah, I think he's a bit frozen.
Yeah.
Network.
Services. Like yesterday, I was from.
I think you we can't hear you. It's I think that the network in your end is coming in and out.
Bungoma.
Oh, okay.
The network.
The network was very bad. Can you repeat that again? We couldn't hear you. Oh, I think
I'm saying. Let me try to come back again.
Yes. Network still bad.
Yeah, I think he's experiencing network problems, probably. The network is fluctuating.
Well, we're still waiting. Oh, I think he's back. Well, we're still waiting for him to settle with his network. You know, you had a great question with you know, with farming and youth and how they can, you know, sell some of their crops,
Yes.
you know, to earn some type of income. So I think that's very, you know, that's very important, especially if a church is willing to provide them with opportunity to have land. But yes, I think he's back.
The charger.
Paul, we see that you have joined, but we can't hear you if you're speaking.
I think I'm audible now. Are you getting me?
Yes. You can tell us where you are, I think, based on the question, unless Miss Pamela, you want to repeat your question.
For me now, I'm in Nairobi. but our services are everywhere. If you call our company, maybe you are in Eldoret, you are in Kitale, you are in Kisumu, Kakamega, and all those
Bungoma.
parts, someone who is very flexible to visit maybe or communicate to you if it's to visit your farm. We have those all technical people in those all branches that we have all over the country. So it's not necessary that I come personally, but I may give you someone who may visit your farm. As long as you have our number. Can I give you
Yes. Give me your number.
Of course, +254
+254
700
700
169
169
962.
962.
I may also give you personal number if you may want to ask me any question personally. You may call me anytime.
Yes.
0715
0715
15 again
15
74
74
71.
Huh?
71 mwisho.
71 0715
Yes.
15 74 71.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. I'll call you. I'll make a follow-up because in the Catholic Diocese of Bungoma, we normally have training seminars. We've been training them on economical empowerment, but I think next year we need to specialize and call those ones who are in the farming section to come and be trained on how best can they farm. And we talk about the irrigation because I know the plants die because of lack of water. So at least we shall organize. I don't know if our coordinator is in this meeting. He's also called Paul. He's in charge of the trainings and coordinating the activities in their diocese. So we shall organize with Paul Kamala so that we can call you. You train some of our young people. Yes, we shall do that. We shall go on, please.
I'm saying that that's very important. When you have organized everything, you have organized the schedule and the dates and the venue, you may call me so that we decide on when to come. You may assemble your target group. If it's those youths, we educate them, and at the end of the day, we will have a solution.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Paul Kirwa. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Feel welcome.
And I would like to say also, I'm sorry, Mr. Wino, you want to say? I see you want to say something.
Not actually. Mine is just to give a vote of thanks to Mr. Paul Kirwa. We've experienced whatever you said today, and I believe the information is going to be very useful to us. And also, I believe that those young youth that are going to be mentored by Mr. Paul Kirwa will actually pull through with the project and make sure that they go ahead and plant the Sukuma Wiki and make money out of it. Yeah, that's all I want to say.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I thank you. I'm so honored for you to be here today, and to give us this information. I've been looking for this information for so long, and I could not. When you installed our system, I had to invite you again to speak about irrigation, to speak about such different technology and how we can motivate ourselves, our youth, to move forward with farming, because farming, yes, we get bored, because I get bored too. I don't want all day kulima, Cindy, but if I'm provided with like with different technology, I get excited. It feels my motivation to like, oh yes, I can, this is different way of doing farming. So it continues to motivate me. And yes, thank you very much for joining us today, and I really appreciate what you do. So
Okay, me appreciate for the platform you have given me to explain what I know. Maybe for today, let's call it. It was a starting day. We will go on organizing for these meetings, discussing on various challenges and various things matters irrigation. So let me appreciate for today. I'm hoping so that we will work together, we'll partner together such that each and every one of us will benefit, because we know that where we are headed to, irrigation and farming is the most paying and most important job opportunity that maybe it may employ. You may find yourself being self-employed and earning very well. So let's hope these youths will benefit as we are heading to educating. I appreciate so much for your the platform that you are giving.
Thank you. And in that state, we're going to end our Zoom meeting. And yes, let's continue to connect. As you say, this is not the first time, but we can continue to partner and just, to continue to progress. You have the resources that we need. Ms. Pavana mentioned about greenhouses. So we're slowly progressing in, all of this, and improve ourselves in farming, and to make farming more fun to us and youth. And yes, thank you very much, and I appreciate it. And have a nice weekend, everyone. Have a nice Sunday tomorrow.
Yeah, same to you. Same to you. Also have a nice Sunday.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.